Let me share a little secret with you. Reaching 70 doesn't mean your world shrinks. In fact, if you approach it the right way, life becomes even more vibrant. Many believe that happiness fades as we age. But they're mistaken. It doesn't disappear, it simply transforms. And today I'm going to walk you through how some of the most joyful women over 70 actually feel more free, more content, and more alive thanks to 12 simple things they practice daily. Now, I haven't always been this lighthearted. Honestly, my 60 were more challenging than I expected. My energy shifted, my circle of friends got smaller, and for a while I asked myself, have my best years passed? But something gradually changed. Not overnight, but step by step, I began adopting small habits, daily choices that slowly brought joy back into my life. This video isn't about pretending to be younger or putting on a fake smile. It's about genuine practices rooted in wisdom, emotional strength, and everyday grace that older women lean on to stay spiritually grounded, emotionally resilient, and truly fulfilled. Whether you're 60, 75, or 80, these 12 habits can help you wake up with clarity and fall asleep with contentment. Some are so simple, they might make you smile. Others may catch you off guard, but together they hold real power. So, if you're ready to feel a little lighter on the inside, stay with me. Let's explore the 12 daily habits of genuinely happy women over 70. Let's begin. Habit 1. They begin their mornings with a personal ritual. The happiest women over 70 don't dive straight into emails or chores. They begin their mornings with purpose, not perfection, not pressure, but something slow, intentional, and centering a morning ritual. Now don't get me wrong, it doesn't have to be a strict routine or some influencer's 5 a.m. miracle plan. For most of us, it's a quiet moment that reminds us we're still here, still breathing, and that this day is a blessing. For me, I open my curtains, stretch my arms up, and whisper a short prayer. Thank you, Lord, for another sunrise. Help me honor it well. Some mornings I jot down 3 things I want to focus on. Other mornings I simply sip my tea in silence and let the sound of the birds wash over me. Why does it matter? Because how we start our day shapes everything that follows. A calm, mindful morning reduces anxiety, lifts your spirits, and gives you one priceless gift, a sense of control. At this stage of life, when our bodies and routines can feel unpredictable, that kind of grounding is everything. So if you wake up feeling scattered or low, try starting small. Light a candle, take a breath, say a quiet thank you. Even just 3 minutes of peace can reset your entire day. Habit 2. They make it a point to step outside. Have you ever walked out into the morning air, taken one deep breath, and instantly felt better? Joyful women over 70 don't wait for perfect weather or big plans. They simply choose to breathe fresh air every single day. And no, I don't mean scaling a mountain. I'm talking about stepping into your garden, relaxing on your porch, or even swinging open a window and leaning into the breeze. Fresh air does more than just feel refreshing. It actually lowers blood pressure, boosts your immune response, and naturally enhances your energy. That's not just personal belief. It's backed by research. Scientific studies show that exposure to sunlight increases serotonin, the feel-good chemical that balances your mood. Even 15 minutes outdoors can sharpen your mind and ease anxious thoughts. And let's not forget vitamin D, which becomes even more important for bone strength and brain health as we grow older. Some mornings I just sit beside my little flower bed with a cup of tea, watch the birds hop around, and let the breeze brush my cheeks. No distractions, no deadlines, just me and the quiet start of the day. Other times, I slowly stroll to the end of the block and back. And you know what? That short walk is my therapy. You don't need flawless legs or a large garden. Just crack open a window. Inhale deeply. Step outside barefoot if you're able. Let the world remind you you belong here. You're still present. And that counts as your body wakes up with the sunlight your mind naturally wants to follow. Because happy women don't just move, they stay engaged. Let's talk about the habit that helps them keep learning each day. Habit 3. They remain curious and keep learning. You know what I've realized about the most joyful women over 70? They never stop wondering. They're still eager to understand, to explore, to figure out how things work. Simply put, they continue learning. Now, I don't mean enrolling in college or memorizing classic literature unless that sounds exciting to you. I'm talking about keeping your mind open, reading an article, listening to a new podcast, asking your grandson how his favorite app works, and really wanting to understand it. That spark of curiosity keeps us mentally sharp, engaged, and connected to the world around us. Here's why it matters. Brain experts say our minds function like muscles. The more we challenge them, the stronger they remain. Lifelong learning helps delay memory issues, improves mood, and lowers the risk of mental decline. When I turned 72, I made a goal to learn how to use YouTube, not just to watch it, but to really navigate it. My granddaughter Emily showed me, and now I follow baking tutorials, travel stories, and even a woman my age who teaches watercolor painting. Honestly, it made my world feel wide again. You don't have to be a tech expert or a book lover. Just ask yourself, what am I curious about today? Maybe it's how to grow rosemary, who painted that piece in your hallway, or how to make a meal you've never tried. Follow that question because curiosity keeps your spirit young. And when you discover something new, you stand a little taller. You feel more awake, more alive, and that energy, it radiates through how you dress, how you walk, and how you greet the day. Habit 4. They dress with intention. Let's clarify something immediately. This isn't about dressing to impress anyone else. It's about choosing your outfit deliberately for yourself. The most joyful women I know over 70 haven't stopped caring about how they present themselves to the world. They get dressed with care even when there's no one around to notice. What? Because clothing holds energy. When you take a moment to wear something that helps you feel at ease, graceful, or even simply coordinated, it tells your mind, I'm worth showing up for. And that influences how you hold yourself, even if you're only in your kitchen. Research in psychology has shown that our clothing can influence our confidence, our stance, and even how we feel. This effect is called in-low cognition. It's not about style, it's about meaning. Let me share something amusing. Every Sunday I put on my favorite pearl earrings, even if I'm just watching church and online from my living room. Not because anyone will notice, but because it reminds me this day matters. I matter. And when I'm feeling a little off, I go for something with color, a vibrant scarf, or a floral top to boost my spirit. You don't need expensive clothes. You don't need to chase fashion. Just ask yourself in the morning, how do I want to feel today? Then wear something, anything that reflects that feeling. Warm and soft, airy and light, vibrant and cheerful. Let your clothing be a quiet expression of your being. And as we begin to move with that kind of purpose, we also become more aware of our words. Because here's one truth all happy women over 70 understand. They've practiced talking less about what's wrong and more about what's going well. Habit 5. They limit complaining. This one, I'll admit, took me a long time to learn. The happiest women over 70 I've ever known have embraced the quiet strength of not complaining. Not because everything goes right for them, not because they don't feel pain, sorrow, or frustration, but because they've discovered something meaningful. Complaining amplifies the issue. Gratitude reduces it. Let's be honest, growing older brings difficulties. Health shifts, losses, slower rhythms. But what separates the joyful from the bitter isn't what happens. It's where they put their attention. There was a period when I realized that I started almost every phone call with a list of problems. My knees ached. The weather was miserable. The world felt like it was falling apart. Then, one day, My friend Helen gently said, "You know, I miss hearing you talk about your garden." And that struck me. I had let my voice become a reflection of all that was wrong. So I chose to change. Psychologists refer to it as negativity bias. Our brains are tuned to notice the negative, but we're not bound to it. We can teach ourselves to see what's still beautiful. And when you make that a habit, your spirit grows lighter. It doesn't mean pretending everything's okay. It means deciding not to pour your energy into complaints that solve nothing. So next time you're about to vent, pause and ask, "Is this helping me grow or just keeping me stuck?" Then, make even a small shift. Talk about the bird you spotted this morning, the neighbor who smiled and waved, the memory that brought you joy. And when you turn down the volume of complaint, you begin to notice the music of life again. Habit 6, they keep moving. The happiest women over 70 aren't chasing toned abs or competing with 20-year-olds at the gym. But don't be fooled. They stay active every single day. Why, Bill? Because they've discovered one simple truth. Movement is healing. You don't need special machines or a flawless figure. You only need to move what you can in the way you can for as long as you're able. Even a walk around the block, 10 minutes of gentle stretching, or dancing in the kitchen while making breakfast counts. Studies confirm that daily movement reduces joint stiffness, improves balance, strengthens the heart, and sharpens memory. It's not only about physical strength. It supports your mind, mood, and independence. In fact, women who remain active well into their 70s and beyond tend to enjoy not only longer lives, but brighter ones. Some mornings I wake up feeling stiff and tempted to skip it, but I remind myself this body has carried me through many seasons. The least I can do is help it continue. So I stretch carefully. I breathe fully. I walk softly. And you know what? I always feel better afterward. Every single time. Don't let the idea of perfection hold you back. Begin small. Walk to the end of the driveway. Roll your shoulders. Sit in a chair and move your legs. Even 10 minutes of light movement a day is a gift to your future, not a burden. Be grateful for the body that still shows up for you. And when your body feels alive, your spirit often does too. But the most joyful women over 70 don't stop at caring for their bodies. They also nurture something more tender, their relationships. Habit 7. They reach out to others every day. There's a certain loneliness that can quietly settle in as we age. Soft but heavy. The happiest women over 70 have learned how to keep that loneliness away. How? By reaching out. By staying connected. They make it a habit every single day to speak, to listen, and to share a moment with another person. Staying connected doesn't mean attending big gatherings. It might be saying a warm hello to the mail carrier, texting your cousin, chatting with your friend from Bible study, or simply smiling at someone in the produce aisle. Because these small exchanges, they matter. Loneliness in older adults has been linked to higher chances of heart problems, memory decline, and depression. But the remedy isn't always a celebration. It's presence. It's belonging. Just knowing someone out there is thinking of you and you of them keeps the heart full. Each morning I send a short voice message to my longtime friend Ruth. Just a minute or two. Sometimes I share a funny memory. Sometimes it's a prayer, but it's our little tradition. And it reminds me I'm not alone. And she isn't either. You don't have to be the center of attention. But do reach out. Call someone just to say hi. Join a book group or a walking club. Even write a note. Yes, the handwritten kind. Because each time you open your heart to someone else, your world becomes a little bigger. And so does your capacity to feel. When we care for our connections with others, we also deepen the bond we hold within. That's why joyful women over 70 aren't afraid of solitude. In fact, they've come to appreciate the grace found in stillness and self-reflection. Let's explore that further. Habitu 8. They eat with purpose. One of the quiet strengths of content women over 70 is the way they approach meals. not as a task to finish, but as a chance to nurture both body and mind. They eat with mindfulness. That means slowing down, savoring each flavor, and choosing foods that support their vitality and well-being. Eating with purpose isn't about rigid rules or denial. It's about presence, tuning into your body's signals, and choosing nourishment that brings strength and joy, not confusion or regret. As we grow older, your metabolism and digestion evolve. Our bodies crave nutrient-dense meals that support strong bones, a sharp mind, and a healthy gut. Think vibrant vegetables, clean proteins, good fats, and whole grains. But just as vital as what we eat is how we eat. Mindful eating helps us digest better, avoid overindulgence, and enjoy the act of eating itself. I used to rush my meals watching the time planning the next thing. But these days, I slow down. I sit without my phone or TV. I take in the scent of my food and I taste every bite. It feels like a ritual, a quiet way of giving thanks to this body that has served me for years. You don't have to change your entire diet all at once. Begin small. Try drinking a glass of water before eating. Add one more vegetable to your meal, or pause between bites to truly enjoy what's on your plate. These subtle shifts create a noticeable impact, making you feel more energized, more grounded, more in tune with your needs. When we nourish our bodies with compassion, our energy reflects that care. And that energy supports the next habit, something every joyful woman over 70 makes room for each day laughter. Habit 9. They nurture their spirit. Joy in later life isn't only about outer habits, it flows from within. It's about how we tend to our spirit, our sense of meaning, and our inner calm. The happiest older women I know don't just get by. They feed their spirit every single day. What does it look like to care for your spirit? It varies from person to person. For some, it's prayer or quiet meditation. For others, it's walking through the woods, reading words that lift the heart, or creative work like sketching or writing. It's whatever makes your soul feel at rest. What brings your heart home? Research shows that people with a deep sense of purpose and a connection to something greater than themselves often handle stress more effectively and experience higher well-being. Tending to the spirit brings peace in the storm and light and dark moments. For me, it's morning quiet time with a warm cup of tea and a few deep breaths before the world wakes up. It's that simple pause that anchors me, helps me stay present, and fills me with gratitude. And on days when life feels overwhelming, it becomes the constant anchor I lean on. You don't have to overhaul your entire routine. Just choose one small act that nourishes your spirit each day. It might be music that lifts your soul, jotting your thoughts in a journal, or simply sitting outside and feeling the wind. Feeding your spirit isn't selfish. It's necessary. When our spirit feels full, our happiness glows more brightly. And that inner joy naturally leads into the next habit, making gratitude a part of each day. Let's look at that next. Habit 10. They practice forgiveness daily. Forgiveness is one of the quietest yet most powerful habits of joyful women over 70. It's not about justifying their wrongs or pretending they never happen. It's about setting themselves free from the weight of bitterness, anger, and regret. Each day they make the choice to forgive, not for someone else's benefit, but for their own inner calm. Holding on to old pain only burdens the heart and dims our joy. But forgiveness opens the door to healing and relief. Letting go allows us to stop clinging to what we can undo, and instead focus on the life that still awaits us. Mental health experts have shown that regular forgiveness can reduce anxiety, ease blood pressure, and lift emotional well-being. It's a gift we offer ourselves, a brave and loving act. I recall clinging to pain from an old fallout for years until I realized it was me who was hurting the most. I started a simple daily ritual. Each morning I whispered, "I forgive you and I forgive them." It didn't erase the past, but it changed how I carried it. You don't need to forgive everything instantly. Begin with one step. It might be forgiving yourself for something you regret, or letting go of old resentment towards someone who wronged you long ago. Even a small intention to release pain is a meaningful step forward, because forgiveness isn't a destination, it's a path to peace. And when forgiveness softens the weight on your heart, it clears space for something beautiful. The joy of giving. Habit 11. They laugh on purpose. Laughter is healing. Plain and simple. Women who are happiest in their 70s don't just wait for a good laugh, they create space for it. They laugh on purpose because they know that joy relieves pressure, melts away stress, and reconnects them to the lighter side of life. You may think laughter just happens, but truly, joyful women invite it in every day. They enjoy comedies, swap funny memories, tell jokes, or simply let themselves be silly. Research shows that laughter sparks endorphin release, those natural feel-good chemicals in the brain. It eases tension, loosens muscles, and even strengthens immunity. Best of all, it's free, and it's always within reach. I've found that when the world feels too heavy, laughter is like opening a window. Sometimes I'll ring up my friend Margaret just to swap a funny memory or watch a goofy video together. Those moments remind me that not everything needs to be serious. There's still laughter to be found all around. You don't have to be naturally funny to enjoy more laughter. Try these simple ways. Watch an old comedy that once made you laugh out loud. Pick up a humorous book or tune in to a cheerful podcast. Spend time with someone who always lifts your spirits, or simply let yourself be playful. Dance freely. Make goofy faces in the mirror, or play with a grandchild or beloved pet. Laughter warms the heart, but women over 70 who are truly happy also fill their days with purpose. The final habit of joyful women in their 70s is both simple and meaningful. They close their day in gratitude before drifting off to sleep. They take a quiet pause to think about what went right, what brought them comfort, and the small blessings that are easy to miss. Gratitude isn't pretending life has no challenges. It's choosing to focus on the things that lift us up, no matter how small. A kind smile, a soothing cup of tea, birdsong in the morning. These little gifts remind us that beauty still exists in every day. Studies show that regular gratitude practice improves sleep, lowers stress, and increases overall joy. It retrains our minds to see the good in allowing more peace to enter our lives. Each evening, I write down 3 things I feel thankful for. Sometimes it's something ordinary, a wave from a neighbor, a text from my daughter, or the comfort of a cozy throw. This ritual helps me release the worries and rest with a light heart. You don't need a special notebook or long list. Just pause, recall one thing that made you smile today. Let that feeling wash over you before you sleep. It's a small act, but one that can shift both your nights and your days. And there you have it. 12 daily habits embraced by happy women over 70. They're simple, thoughtful, and filled with kindness toward themselves and their lives. Always remember, happiness isn't a destination. It's something we practice a little more each day, and it's never too late to begin. As we've discovered together, joy in our later years isn't about striving for perfection or doing it all. It's found in everyday choices. Gentle habits that care for our body, our thoughts, and our spirit. Each one a quiet step toward more peace, more happiness, and deeper meaning. I encourage you to try one of these habits tomorrow. Maybe you start your day with purpose, reach out to someone you care about, or make time for a smile. Just know it's never too late to create a more joyful, fulfilling life. If this message inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe Elderly Wisdom Insight so more women can discover the happiness that comes with these beautiful habits. And let me know in the comments which habit will you begin with. I'd love to hear your journey. Thank you for being here with me today.